Hello, welcome to ThriveGroups. We're so glad to have you with us this week as we continue our series CAMEO, where we're taking a look at the appearances of Jesus in the Old Testament before his birth, death, and resurrection, where he shows up and how he changes people. Before we jump into that, though, as we're talking about the God who provides with Abraham and Isaac, before we jump into all that, we're going to go over our ground rules. First, that we want to encourage everyone to participate and no one to dominate. So share your stories, share your thoughts and ideas, but make sure you don't dominate the conversation. Leave room for other people to share as well. Also, we start on time, we end on time. So let's stay respectful of our locations and end on time. With that, we're going to jump right into our first question. What's something that you had to wait a long time for? For me, I was probably 16, 17 years old, went into a guitar shop, and I saw this guy, or actually rather, I heard a guy playing guitar in a back little corner of the guitar shop. Went over, was listening to him play, and he was playing this guitar I had never seen. And it's a very unique guitar called a Parker Fly, I found out, and just fell in love with it. And I was like, I got to get one of those one day. And it was always on the back of my mind. Years went by. Always thought about it, always thought about it. And then probably about, 8, 9 years ago, I finally was like, you know what, now's the time. And I was able to purchase one, which I love and enjoy playing a lot. So I had to wait, I don't know, probably 20, 25 years before I ended up getting it. But what about you? Share about something you had to wait a long time for. Okay, we're going to read some verses. This is out of Genesis 22, and then we're going to discuss what we read here. So Genesis 22, verse 1 through verse 14. So a big chunk here. Here we go. Sometime later, God tested Abraham's faith. Abraham, Abraham, God called. Yes, he replied. Here I am. Take your son, your only son, yes, Isaac, whom you love so much, and go to the land of Moriah. Go and sacrifice him as a burnt offering on one of the mountains which I will show you. The next morning, Abraham got up early. He saddled his donkey and took two of his servants with him, along with his son Isaac. Then he chopped wood for a fire and burnt offering and set out for the place God had told him about. On the third day of their journey, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. Stay here with the donkey, Abraham told the servants. The boy and I will travel a little further. We'll worship there, then we will come right back. So Abraham placed the wood for the burnt offering on Isaac's shoulders, while he himself carried the fire and the knife, as the two of them walked on together. Isaac turned to Abraham and said, Father? Yes, my son, Abraham replied. We have the fire and the wood, the boy said, but where's the sheep for the burnt offering? Abraham said, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering, my son. So they went, both of them, together. When they arrived at the place where God had told them to go, Abraham built an altar and arranged the wood on it. Then he tied his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. And Abraham picked up the knife to kill his son as a sacrifice. At that moment, the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven, Abraham, Abraham. Yes, Abraham replied, Here I am. Don't lay a hand on the boy, the angel said. Do not hurt him in any way, for now I know that you truly fear God. You have not withheld from me even your son, your only son. Then Abraham looked up and saw a ram caught by his horns in the thicket. So he took the ram and sacrificed it as a burnt offering in place of his son. Abraham named the place Yahweh-Yireh, which means the Lord will provide. To this day, people still use that name as a proverb. On the mountain of the Lord, it will be provided. So let's take a moment and discuss what stood out to us in these verses. Next question is share about a time that you received something that you prayed for. Well, one of my sons was having some very severe stomach pains for a number of years, actually. And we couldn't figure it out. And we just prayed for him and prayed for him. And it seemed like there was no relief. And then eventually God healed him, doesn't have those issues anymore. We're very grateful. But we prayed and prayed for a long period of time. And then God answered and gave him the healing. What about you? What's a time that you received something that you prayed for? Next question is tell about a time that you had to trust God for something. For me, about a year ago, we merged with Faith Living Church and it's now our Southington campus. And I really didn't know how to do that, how to do a merger, how to, connect this congregation that had been serving God together for over 40 years, connect it with our congregation and bring the same culture and try our best to lead positively. And it was a challenge and a journey, but we had to trust God through the middle of it, that He would lead us, guide us, and direct us. But what about you? What's the time that you had to trust God for something? Final question is this: what do you need to trust God with this week? What is it that you're going through right now? How can you trust God this week? Well, thank you so much for joining us for our Thrive group. We're so glad that you came today. We're going to close in prayer. And, if you have anything that you need prayer for in your life, make sure you share that with the group. They would love to pray for you. And then as a group, let's come together. Let's pray over these prayer requests. I'd encourage each person to say a little short prayer. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just pray, asking God for wisdom, guidance, direction, whatever it may be. When you're done, you can say, "Man, next person will go." Then the group leader will close it up. So thank you so much for joining us. Let's close in prayer.